Hi, and welcome to the San Diego County Community College Football Report with Raymond Brown of San Diego Football, sdfootball.net. I'm Ramon Scott, previewing the games for this week and reviewing last week's action as well from the four junior colleges here in San Diego County. I don't know if there's any surprises, Raymond. We did have some pretty good games last week, certainly. I thought all four games actually had a little bit of intrigue, and I think we can round up a little bit of storylines for each of the four contests that were played last week. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. Not happy about the San Diego record, but we'll get to that soon. But other than that,
Yeah.
I'm blessed. I'm doing great. I'm ready for some JUCO action.
Maybe no shocking wins yet for our teams out there as far as any upsets this year, but certainly some good results for teams that were expected to win. And I don't know, the way we looked at this first game, it's always tough to go up and play the Cerritos Falcons. So hats off to Mesa. They shook off a 10-0 deficit and come back to win 14-10. That's getting it done the Mesa way with more defense this week. They were really limited yardage wise, but got big plays in this one, especially in the third quarter. And Mesa able to come out away with a big victory that has helped their ranking right now, beating anytime you beat Cerritos, certainly on the road.
Yeah, Cerritos one of the top programs in the state consistently. So big win for San Diego Mesa. Richie Colmenero III, he didn't put up the most sexiest numbers, but he got both touchdowns for Mesa, and he did just enough to win the game. So hats off to Colmenero. Hats off to that defense for holding Cerritos to 10 points and just doing enough to pull off the dub.
Yeah, Colmenero, a 3-yard run in the second quarter, closed the deficit. It was 10-0 after the first quarter, and then it was a 6-yard pass from Colmenero to Kader Diop with the big score here in this one, Raymond, to get the win for Mesa to move to 2-0 here on the season, but had to be noted the work of the defense in this game that kind of set up the victory in this one. I mean, after the quick scores, Mesa pitches a shutout over the final 46-52. Although Cerritos led in total yards, Mesa captured the turnover advantage with a pair of fumbles to get good field position. Cameron Sanderlin, the former Grossmont Hiller, Brandon Worsley, the former Mission Hills player, both are freshmen. They had recoveries. It was a big hit by Tyron Washington, the former Hilltop player, at the Mesa 6 that prevented Cerritos from scoring. So also Tyreek Buckner knocked a ball loose from the Falcons. Worsley recovered that one. So big plays by the defense, and Diop, a player who hails from Minnesota, had 5 receptions for 88 yards. Also, we'll note on special teams, a real good job here by Mesa. They ended up pinning Cerritos inside the 20 on 3 separate occasions. Baton Morris, the former Torrey Pines player, led with 8 tackles. So Mesa, this is a big win, moves them up to 8th or 9th pretty much in the polls currently, and Cerritos goes tumbling down a bit here, down to about 15th and 17th respectively. So one of the bigger matchups for our teams here, or victories for Mesa. I guess I will call it a bit of an upset the way we were looking at it last week. Great job.
I mean, another thing I noticed is that Mesa gave up 5 sacks and still won. So hats off there, too.
Great job by Mesa. We'll preview the games coming up in just a moment. All right. Check in with the Grossmont Griffins. Wow, what a thrilling game this was with Antelope Valley. I want to give Grossmont some brownie points here for this one, going up to Lancaster. Actually, I should put a little parentheses in overtime. in this one, Raymond. So, man, Grossman, I think they lost the game, but this is probably I don't know. I guess it was disappointing to take the Bucks home, but I'd have to think they had to build a little bit of confidence with this performance.
I don't know, blowing a 24-7 lead
All
has
right,
to
I
be
didn't want
pretty
to go
demoralizing.
there. I didn't want to go there.
Hey, we got to keep it real. Demoralizing, but hey, they went into overtime. Um, yeah, man. Last week we was talking about the quarterback situation between Temple and Giles. It looks like they're going with Temple primarily, even though Giles got some good playing time. Um, yeah, I think Grossmont lost like two fumbles, but Antelope Valley lost some fumbles too. So turnovers were costly for both teams. But Antelope Valley hung in there, pulled off the win. Grossmont falls to 0-2, falling on hard times, not the team they used to be. Hopefully they can turn it around soon, but right now it's looking pretty bad.
Now, well, Temple, 22 of 35 for 246 yards, a couple of interceptions, but he did have two touchdown passes in the game as well. So, he had his arm in ice, it sounds like, after that one. Elijah Gooden Dotton really stepping up big time with another big game, 9 catches here. Jaquale Hodges, 6 receptions. Ryan Roddick had a 72-yard touchdown. He's turning out to be a big playmaker. I would never have called him a possession receiver necessarily at Grossmont. He just had a lot of catches, when he was teamed up with most with Jamie Odom, remember, at Grossmont, but he's turned into kind of a big playmaker here. James Johnson also had a 40-yard catch in the game as well. But you mentioned it, Raymond. I didn't want to dwell on it too much, but Antelope Valley did get the game-tying touchdown with 33 seconds left in the fourth quarter, then a 25-yard field goal in overtime. Griffins thought they had the win when Templeton hit Anthony Hamilton with a 31-yard touchdown pass with 2 minutes to go, but Antelope Valley came back with a 14-yard pass, a 62-second drive. Grossmont had that lead 24-7 in the third quarter on a fumble recovery in the end zone by Christian Boyke. A wild second half saw the team's typical JC fashion go up and down the field. Also, Johnson, the big play for him, he had an 80-yard punt return, took it back all the way, raced up the field kind of towards the middle and to the left side with a touchdown there. But in overtime, Grossmont 4 straight passes, 3 incompletions, and the last attempt was one of those interceptions. And then after Antelope Valley had a couple of incompletions, they ran the ball in the field goal position, and it was Gage Butler of Antelope Valley with the win there. So, okay, still, yeah, that is a little bit hard to swallow, but again, Grossmont wasn't expected to go in there and win. That's for sure.
I
So,
mean, I hate to say this, but Antelope Valley deserved to win based on some of the numbers they put up. I mean,
okay,
Rester, he had 409 yards passing,
wow,
2 touchdowns, drew a pick,
okay,
but I guess it didn't hurt him. He also had 63 yards on the ground, and they got a good rushing game from Celeb Gardner, 98 yards and a touchdown. So they actually put up better numbers, but hats off to Grossmont, man, for them to need overtime for them to win such a game like that, where they're putting up these explosive numbers. That says a lot about Grossmont's resilience and their grit, and I hope they can learn from this game.
Colton Guerrero led Grossmont with 9 solo tackles. Also want to mention Chris Akridge, the former Mount Miguel Matador and Christian Patriot. He had an interception for Grossmont as well. So we'll see. They'll get that win. We'll see when it happens. But that one had to be a little bit tough. I do like some of the things I'm seeing from Grossmont. And also interesting what you mentioned about that quarterback breakdown. I don't know. Sometimes with that team, they can ride with the hot hand on occasion too. So we'll just have to see moving forward if that's what the plans are. But we'll note, Raymond, that Grossmont had 10 different receivers catch passes. That's good news. Okay, it was a good game here, but El Camino moves to 2-0 with the win over Palomar on Saturday. So I'm sure Palomar was probably expecting a better result here in this one. El Camino, certainly a pretty good team. We've already seen them, once this year against our teams, if I'm not mistaken. So how about El Camino over Palomar?
Yeah, man, this is a gritty game. Palomar came back to take a 24-21 lead, but El Camino, they closed it out in the fourth quarter with 2 straight touchdown passes. Actually, a 55-yard touchdown pass and followed by a 66-yard run. So 2 big plays in the fourth quarter put the game away for El Camino. Great effort by Palomar, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah, El Camino down 24-21. It was Joshua Lorick, a 55-yard pass from Dayton Tafoya, and then Amani Givens with a 66-yard run extends the lead with just a couple of minutes remaining as they pull away there. So for Palomar, Clay Omohundro, 221 yards and 2 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions. Omari in Ireland, 134 yards rushing, a touchdown reception. Washington had the reception, and also Kyrie Scholes, 3 receptions for 89 yards, including for Palomar a 78-yard touchdown reception as Palomar trailed 21-7 at halftime. That brought it to within 21-14 before they eventually took the lead early in the fourth quarter. So Palomar linebacker Jaden Latua, he set up the score, set up the big score with a quarterback sack on 4th down. He recovered a fumble and raced 64 yards all the way down to the 3-yard line. They lost a couple of yards and got that touchdown. So after the go-ahead touchdown, it was just a 99 seconds for Palomar to get that go-ahead score. So El Camino gets the win here over Palomar. I don't know if you downgrade Palomar necessarily in this one, but they did have, let's see, Ireland's having, that's his second 100-yard game of the season. That's pretty good. Isaiah Dixon interception as well for Palomar.
Yeah, and 2 sacks for Jaden Latua. He's a former Mission Hill standout, a great player. Great running by Ireland. It's unfortunate you play such a great game and you lose in this manner, giving up 2 fourth quarter touchdowns. But yeah, as of now, I mean, I don't D-rank Palomar for this because El Camino is one of the top teams in the state consistently. So we'll have to see. But tough loss for Palomar, and I hope they get it together.
Yeah, El Camino currently ranked 9th, around 9th or 10th in the polls, are right there with Mesa, and Palomar currently ranked 21st. Those are the 2 teams that are ranked in the top 25 in the state out of our 4 teams. I've plenty of questions here. I watched a lot of this game with my buddy, listen to my buddy Bo call this one, and no problem. I mean, hey, I'm stuck. Okay, I have a big problem giving up 53 points, but I don't know when Southwestern scored 40 last time. I'd have to look, but that feels pretty encouraging. You don't want to give up 53 points to this San Bernardino Valley team. We've already seen them, going up against one of our teams already. So how did this one play out? How did we end up with this? Southwestern used to throw a bunch of defense at you just even when they were down here the last couple of years, and they kind of could stay in games that way. I don't feel like they're the type of team that's going to succeed in games like this. And when you're up against not a great team in San Bernardino Valley and you get up with a shootout, just seems like something different's going on here with Southwestern right now.
Yeah, man, tough loss for Southwestern. I mean, they had a little bit of a offensive explosion in the second half, but it seemed like it was too little, too late. Alec Wojcik, Mar Vista alum, had 324 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, but unfortunately, I think them 3 interceptions were kind of costly. Raymond Flores, I believe he's an Escondido alum, 6 catches, 88 yards, and a touchdown. And Hermione Sheriff from Crawford played a little bit, 2 carries for 19 yards, had a couple of catches for 17 yards. So it's nice seeing some familiar names on this stat sheet. But yeah, tough loss from a San Bernardino Valley team who got washed by Mesa last week. So yeah, man, I don't know what's going on at Southwestern. I know they're trying to get it together, new coaching staff. But we'll see, man. Tough loss, but a great effort.
Yeah, I think Coach Menara is, certainly. I don't know if there's been, in his second year, the type of transit, that some of those games were a real grind, believe me, with the Jaguars over the last couple of years. I'm glad you mentioned Hamadi Sharif. We were talked yesterday on the high school show, and I talked about Crawford. I mean, he was just. I hope he can be. He's just so fun to watch, to talk to.
Yeah,
He's an inspirational guy, man. He could fire me up. I tell you that. So,
yeah, he's one of my
anyway,
favorite players at Crawford.
oh, for sure.
Just fun to watch.
Oh my gosh! I mean, if he couldn't, he had to be the most popular guy on the team for sure. A shout out, Hamadi. But you mentioned some of the other players as well. To me, it just stands out. Wojcik, 3 interceptions. Yeah, that's probably something that probably needs to be fixed up a little bit. But you had Lenza Robinson, 10 catches for 128 yards, 2 scores. Jordan Benton, the 2 touchdowns as well. Getting into it here with a wild game, certainly in this one. These games are tough to win. I just expect more defense usually from Southwestern. I guess things are changing a little bit there. Southwestern running back Raymond Flores had a 56-yard touchdown run in that one. So, okay, let's preview the games real quick. Just find out who they're playing this week. There were 2 games in town this week. Maybe tops on the list will be Mesa hosting Golden West here in this one. This one, actually, man, this is going to be a fun one, I would think. Now, Mesa, they are ranked, like I said, 8th and 9th in the 2 polls, respectively, but Golden West, the Rustlers come in, Raymond, 13th in both polls. To me, even though Mesa might be expected to win, I almost kind of feel like it's a toss up here. They feel like they should win. They better win, but they also have to be on. I don't know if it's upset alert. It just feels like this is going to be a really good game. Check it out Saturday.
Yeah, Golden West just lost a tough one to amazing Riverside team, 40-15.
Oh boy.
I could see Mason winning this game, but it's not going to be easy. I know Golden West is going to come in hungry. They're disappointed. They just got blown out. So those are the scariest teams right there. Teams that who's back against the wall. They got pretty much nothing to lose playing with house money going into this game against the number 8 team. So, but I got Mesa. Mesa should continue to roll.
Okay, Grossmont here is going to entertain Citrus. Got to think Citrus is favored here, maybe by at least a couple of touchdowns. I feel like Grossmont's playing well, but Citrus, they are 2-0. Let me see if it's going to be, I don't think they're too high currently in the rankings. Oh boy, 11th. Yeah, this is probably probably 3 or 4 touchdown favorite at least. Maybe Grossmont's getting it together a little bit on offense. They're going to have their work cut out for them.
Yeah, I agree. I got Citrus winning this one. They're coming off a win against San Jacinto. At least Grossmont, they found out who they want their quarterback to be, so maybe that can help a little bit. Even though Giles is getting some reps in, and that's some good depth right there. That's 2 guys that you want as your number 1 and number 2. So yeah, I hope Grossmont can pull off the upset, but I don't see it happening. I got Citrus with probably like a touchdown and field goal.
Oh, okay, that'd be great. I tell you what, if Grossman can hang here within a couple of touchdowns, hats off to him. Feels like, yeah. Look, I'm encouraged. I'm encouraged actually with the two games so far, despite the disappointed results. But Citrus comes in. I think they're looking pretty good right now. I didn't realize they were ranked 11th in both polls. Uh, that does worry me now all of a sudden. Okay, here comes Palomar. They're going to be taking on Canyons in this one. And I've got to think here. Uh, Boy, for me, uh, I don't know. This one, what do you got on this one? This one rates pretty close or what? Kevin?
I think Palomar can win this game. Canyons coming off of they had a tough schedule. They just lost to Fullerton, who was 2-0 right now. They
Okay.
lost 26-14. They got shut out in the second half. I think Palomar could win this game, but I would be careful with Canyon. Like
Okay.
these winless teams, man, they scare me because they're hungry, they're desperate. They're gonna come at you with their hardest. They've been game planning all week. They've been practicing hard, trying to get that first win. So if Palomar don't watch out, they can go up to the Canyons and take a L. But I don't see it happening. I think Palomar can pull this off.
They can. The computer here says maybe Canyons by 10 points, but
Mm-hmm.
Palomar's 21st in both polls, as I said, and Canyons finished just out of the voting in one of the polls, basically around 27th, and in
Okay.
the other poll, probably around 32nd or 33rd. So put them on they're on the home field without a win yet. Feels like maybe not probably not a 10-point dog, probably that maybe worthy of a pick 'em or so. Feels like here to me. That was, I thought, uh, maybe a disappointing result that we talked about with El Camino. Uh, Figuring they were at home. That will be they. We talked about their playing in Escondido. This is the last year they'll be doing that. By the way, I don't know if we
Yeah, they're
touched on
getting a new stadium next year.
yeah, yeah. So, okay, one more game here, and then we'll just get out of here. Thanks everybody for joining us on the
Mm.
show. And Southwestern is going to go up and take on Long Beach in this one. So a little bit tough
Yeah.
trip here for Southwestern, but you do have two 0-2 teams here. And like I said, Southwestern, I'm really happy with Southwestern putting up 40 points last week. But what could they do here this week, however, against Long Beach? Long
They
Beach
can
is in the
probably put
poll,
up
by the
an.
way. Uh,
I'll tell you this: if they
23rd.
put up 40 points this week, they're gonna win. I don't think Long Beach is putting up 53. They just came off getting edged 29-27 by Bakersville. So yeah, this is a winnable game for Southwestern. I hope they can get it done. This would mean a lot for their confidence moving forward. They've shown that they can explode on offense if they need to. So yeah, I see them coming home with a win.
Oh man, okay, that'd be great. Computer here has Southwestern pretty big underdog here, but I was encouraged by that. I don't want to say it's 4 touchdowns, but it might be 3. So that would be nice to have just a good performance, stay within a couple of scores here for Southwestern, have another, uh, you know, build on what they have achieved so far. Let's call it what it is 0-2, but putting up 40 points. Nice job last week. All right, Raymond, just want to cover these games this week with you. Appreciate you very much for doing this show with us. We just want to highlight all of the great athletes in the community colleges. We'll continue to do so each week here on our show because, hey, feels like we're the only ones out here talking community college football in San Diego County, my friend. It's hard to get the coverage, and I don't mind rounding it up each week because it's great to see some of our athletes from the county continuing to excel and also pointing out those stars that have opted to come to our great county to play their community college football from out of the region or out of state. So appreciate you very much.
Yeah, appreciate being here, man. Visit East County Sports for your JUCO coverage and visit sdfootball.net. I'm gonna try to do a recap every Sunday morning, Saturday night, whenever I can get it done. But yeah, man, JUCO's important, man. Nobody's too good for JUCO. Go out there and earn another opportunity.
And stick around. We'll have highlights of some of the bigger games involving our teams when they go head to head. Raymond's out there following the action. We'll have you highlights too as well here on the show in the weeks to come when our teams match up. All right. Thanks a lot, Raymond. We'll catch you again next week with more San Diego County Community College Football Report. For Raymond Brown, I'm Ramon Scott. Thanks for joining us.